The old expression goes that denial ain't a place in Egypt. Well, that's true. But for anyone who's decided to move beyond their porn addiction, denial is the thing that should probably get acquainted with right away. Denial is a state where you deny or distort what is really happening. Now, you might ignore the problem, minimize people's concern, or even blame others for any of your issues. But if you're a porn addict, some of this is probably going to hit a little bit close to home. You might even feel a little twinge of discomfort when I was saying that. If you did, you should really listen to this entire video, because that discomfort is your conscious mind recognizing the truth in your own self-deceit. Denial is the warm blanket that you wrapped yourself in to conceal the unpleasant realities of your behavior. A person can live in their delusions blissfully unaware of their destructive and damaging consequences. So let's get to the bottom of this. Denial is very common, especially for those struggling with addictive behaviors. No one wants to identify as a porn addict, right? So denial allows them to make their reality more flattering. In denial, a person may resort to various behaviors that can be grouped into 3 different categories. The first is minimizing. If the addiction is brought up, the addict might offer up a defense that the notion of their addiction is an exaggeration. He or she may say something like, "Well, it's not that bad," or "People do it way more often than I do." The second is rationalizing. The addicted person will rationalize her addiction, saying she's stressed out and that she earned her porn time as a reward for all of her hard work. The third is self-deception. Self-deception is a powerful denial mechanism where the individual convinces himself that things aren't as bad or severe as they really are. I know for certain that I have experienced all of these, sometimes simultaneously. I have helped other people I've sponsored to reveal their denial. I've seen it manifest in workshops and meetings and can tell you that denial is the biggest enemy we all face. Addicts use denial in order to continue engaging in addictive behaviors. Continued denial can cause destructive consequences, from health issues to harmful relationships, but the biggest of them all is that it sets back the recovery effort. So, how do we overcome denial? Well, I'd first like to tell you that doing it yourself is a recipe for disaster. End of sentence. If you're in denial, you owe it to yourself to get help from wherever you can, because denial is a tricky bastard that requires someone else to tell you and call you out on your own bullshit. I highly recommend either getting a therapist or joining a recovery group. At bare minimum, try talking with a friend that won't bullshit you or buy into your delusions. I'm sure you've got one of those people. You know, the friend that won't beat around the bush. They always make good candidates. The important thing is making sure that you find someone that isn't going to enable you. But always seek professional help first, if you can afford it. You can try also using addiction recovery books. And there's plenty of good sources out there for porn addicts. I specifically thought that the Patrick Carnes Facing the Shadow was good at teasing out denial. Many addiction workbooks spend a good deal of their time on this topic because of the obstacle that it represents. So, lots of options. Great to do some research on this, and please look around. Workbooks are great because they force you to be specific. By talking about specific behaviors and situations, and the incidents that demonstrate their impact on addiction, the addict can see how porn use is negatively affecting them. This does not mean taking a laundry list of complaints, but rather an opportunity to show how porn use is holding an addict back. Ultimately, battling denial isn't a quick fix. The best way I can express this for a porn addict is that you have to become aware of your ability to engage in denial and then, over long periods of time, keep reflecting on your behaviors and attitudes to see if you are still engaging in denial. This is why having someone other than yourself involved in the process is critical. Another good approach is to always confront denial with sentences that start in I. For example, I have a porn addiction issue. If you look in the mirror and say that to yourself, it will probably feel uncomfortable. And as I discussed in the beginning of this video, that's a good thing. Denial is a warm blanket hiding you from the uncomfortable truth. Only by shedding our defenses can we move forward in recovery, which means we must have the courage to start seeing the truth specifically in our own face and facing that truth even if it hurts. Getting to the bottom of all this is that we're trying to challenge the beliefs that we create for ourselves. Some of those beliefs might sound like the following. Porn is not addictive. Well, others watch it, why can't I? Porn has always been around, what's the big deal? I only do it in my spare time. I can still get my work done. I'm not into anything terrible or weird. Surfing porn is harmless entertainment. Well, I don't get sex enough, so porn just helps me get through it. Now, as I was saying all those, you might have even came up with a few of your own. But the simple illustration is to show you how an internalized story like this has more holes than Swiss cheese, and it falls into one of those three categories of denial I spoke about in the very beginning of this recording. If you find yourself in an internalized argument by confronting these beliefs, then this is where that third party comes in. You know, that friend that can call you on your bullshit. You can also use the internet to help you find supporting arguments against your beliefs, which might help expand your knowledge on the harm. But always keep in mind, the addict, you, that person that's inside of you that doesn't want to hear any of those stupid arguments, they're always going to be fighting against this. Ultimately, by immediately challenging these beliefs, you get to root out the deceitful behaviors that we tell ourselves and allow that warm blanket to be ripped away. This is Road to Recovery. I hope you found this recording helpful. Please subscribe and stay on that road to recovery.